All right, I have a few minutes before I have to go get kids from school. And I guess I will address the epilepsy issue. I will want to get into it more because this is important to me. It's not only is it important to us personally, but it's also National Epilepsy Awareness Month, and I like to take the time to make an effort in that regard because I do think that it is a diagnosis that is still really misunderstood, and there are a lot of people who are living with it successfully, and we are some of those people. And I also like to give the opportunity, because I know that all the time there are people who are getting this diagnosis for themselves, getting this diagnosis for their spouse or their kids, and you are at the beginning of your journey, and I have been there, and I know how scary and difficult that journey is. And we are coming to an important anniversary date for us. We are next week we are completely 2 years seizure free while on meds, which is not the same as being 2 years seizure free not on meds. So, and in children, if you can make it to that mark, the standard protocol is to... Hi. What? You're done? I'm doing the dishes. We have to get Sissy in a couple minutes. Would you like some water? No. Alright, you're going to make a bigger mess? Fantastic. So we're getting to the 2 year seizure free point on this. And for children, 70% of kids... Okay, wash it, okay? 70% of children who can make it to that mark will actually have outgrown their epilepsy. 30%, of course, will not have. And not that I'm pessimistic when I say that about ourselves, but I am realistic. I think that when you have a life-threatening disorder, not all epilepsy is. Epilepsy is a broad-based term, kind of like saying you have cancer. I mean, it means many, there are many different types of cancers with different prognosis and different treatments. Same thing goes for epilepsy. Kids' particular type is a less frequent seizure activity, but extremely life-threatening. So, well, I don't know if there's anything that would say more or less life-threatening is what it is. Like, it's not extremely life-threatening. It is life-threatening because of the length of her seizure time and what that does to her respiratory system, and of course, all that. Please, more, so you can go over there and dump it on the floor? No? Okay. Here. Are you drinking it? No. No? Awesome. So, anyway, that's what's happening for us. The real deal with that is, you don't make it 2 years seizure free and then, boom, you don't have epilepsy. You make it 2 years seizure free, you wean off the medicine. The weaning itself makes your brain unstable, and so if you hadn't outgrown it, you are likely to have a seizure during the weaning time. That takes a month, and then the 6 months thereafter. But, sad to say for everyone who's going through this, you will never know. We could make it through this 7-month period of time seizure free, and she could have a seizure the next day, she could have a seizure 3 months after that, she could have a seizure 3 years after that, she could have a seizure 15 years later. You will never know, and you will have to have her emergency medicine the whole time. So it doesn't really completely alleviate the level of stress that we've been under. In fact, this weaning process for the next 7 months probably escalates the stress, because she's most likely to have one during that time, where we have gotten to the point after about a year on the medicine of not having a seizure. Things started to ease up for us, and we felt like the seizures are definitely controlled. You still would never know if you could have, what's difficult about this diagnosis is that you never know. Were you not going to ever have another one for the rest of your life, and the medicine was just superfluous? Was the medicine working and actually keeping the seizures from happening, or had she not had one yet, and so it hadn't been challenged and you weren't on the right dose anyway? It's kind of, I mean, it can make you crazy. It's very stressful, and anyone who's going through this, you know that we go, our hearts go out to you because we understand how stressful it is and how it is so pervasive throughout your whole life. You can't do anything without thinking about it. I can't send her to school without having to have medical plans and worrying that what would happen, she can't go on a field trip without me because the other parents aren't trained and don't have the medicine on hand. She can't go to play at a kid's house without my having to explain everything to the parents and feel that they're comfortable taking on the responsibility. I mean, it is a big deal. So, in the next little while, it will still be a big deal, and then, slowly can make it through that 7 months. We can start to be hopeful, and then I think if we can make it another year after that, it might get to the point where, while we'll still have emergency medication, it would just be one of those things where it becomes less of an issue, and if she went to a friend's house, they would just call 911 and, start fresh, I guess. But, yes, that's what's happening for us. It's one thing to be hopeful, it's another thing to set yourself up for massive disappointment. So, we walk that line. And I guess, being a mom and having to be prepared for everything, and having had something so devastating happen to us, not that worse things can't happen, of course they can. People lose their children, or people have, kids have cancer, other horrible, situations. You can live a functioning life, and that is maybe the message I have, is that during this 2 years of time, we have lived a completely, as normal as can be life, and kid is happy and thriving, and there's a lot of stigma about anti-seizure meds, and there are new medications out there, and we were very nervous to put her on a medicine. What if she had all these side effects? What if it affected her personality? I will say kid is on Keppra. It has been fantastic. We haven't had a single side effect. When you are first told to put your kid on a medicine, you really do worry, like, what if it's unnecessary, putting all these chemicals in their brain. Obviously, that's something you have to weigh out for yourselves. For us, there really wasn't we had to do it because, the risk to her having a seizure without the medicine was too severe. But I will say that we've been happy with the medication and had no side effects, and the peace of mind it has given us has been tremendous and worth it. So there's that. I guess that's all I have to say today. Yes, I need to go get her. So, what are you eating? All right. Those are my thoughts today. Check, check.